Hello, everybody. Welcome back to SPX 2024. My name is Joe.
My name's Rusty.
And with us today, we have...
Don.
Don, what's going on?
What's up?
We're here for the first time at a Small Press Expo.
Nice.
With a little venture we call Boink Comics.
Okay.
And we're showing our comic book called Cereal. And it's a 6 episode series set in the breakfast cereal world. It's kind of a comedy, business, parody, murder mystery, adult thriller.
Covering many bases.
Yes. And then I wanted to show you guys this box set we made that we are making to resemble a cereal box.
So cool.
All 6 issues can be stored inside here. And one side looks like a book. You can put it in your bookcase.
Yeah.
And then this side looks like a cereal box.
Oh, that's nutritional information.
Nutritional facts and everything.
Everything you need.
And it has a puzzle on the back.
Oh, fantastic.
So cool.
We're older guys who grew up, watching cereal commercials and Saturday morning cartoons that were based on the cereals.
Yes.
And reading Mad Magazine, and this all went into in this kind of very silly but also sort of serious. The overall theme of cereal is about how some of these products are marketed to children and they get inside our heads and do strange things.
So where did that idea stem from? Was it just the fact that it is like kind of a version of reality where things are targeted to maybe inappropriate markets and they can affect them?
Yeah, my real job is I'm a writer, I'm a journalist, so I write a lot about business and marketing and see how pervasive it is and how children were really targeted by consumer products companies for really sugary cereals or toys or whatever it might be. And the marketing messages are so scientifically figured out. They figured out the bliss point for how much sugar you can have in your mouth, and they
focus groups and
and like the cartoon characters, and there's toys inside. It's like any possible way to make the kid tell mom to buy the cereal. So the hero of our story is the girl who grew up exposed to all that, and she wanted to become the world's greatest cereal inventor. Her dreams were crushed at this cereal company that we totally invented, and now she's kind of working to get revenge.
Nice.
So what cereal did you base this off of?
Well, we have different characters that she interacts with that are kind of influenced by maybe your Captain Crunch, Lucky Charms, Trix, Fruity Pebbles, all those
archetype mascots.
Yeah, all those mascots. We also kind of pull in. We have like a sort of a G.I. Joe kind of character, and we have the company here also does some cereals that are based off of popular culture, like real cereal companies do. So we have like a Jaws-based cereal that they came up with in the 70s, and we have a Holland Oats. It's like Holland Oats cereal, and it has a picture of Holland Oats. And then we have a Breakfast Club cereal, which says 5 grains with nothing in common.
Nice.
And we have posters for those that we sell, and we're trying to make create a whole world where this cereal company feels like it's a real thing.
Yeah, I like that ties into like doing the box recreation and everything. I like bringing those kind of physical objects out of the story into the real world.
Yeah. The idea is that we want to make a world that could translate beyond, say, a comic book. It could end up being a scripted series or something like that. I mean, that would be the dream. And there's more storylines that could come out of a cereal company.
It sounds like one of the things you're doing is you're putting a lot of like tent poles in this world. Like you're establishing lots of characters and how they interact or if they interact, that can all be seen, but you're trying to create these three-dimensional characters that exist alongside each other.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to create your original IP, right?
Yeah.
So we're piggybacking a little bit on the retro-ness of these guys, and they kind of remind you a little bit of some of the older stuff.
Sure.
Like a hint of nostalgia from different
Yeah,
things.
yeah. I mean, we have a sea captain character who's got his own cereal, and he talks like the captain from Moby Dick, and we all, so he's like part Moby Dick and part from Jaws and part from SpongeBob,
Well, that's one of the strengths of kind of drawing on these things people understand or feel like they understand, is it gives them sort of an entryway into the material, because they have some sort of handhold on what they're experiencing, and then it's up to you to kind of twist it or warp it a little bit and give them something new.
Yeah, I mean, it's been done in other venues, just kind of taking known intellectual property, known characters, and just doing cool new things with them. But I think we really wanted to have our own. And what happened one of the executives at this cereal company says, how cereal companies have always used established characters. I mean, Fred Flintstone, even like Popeye, Mickey Mouse, Bugs Bunny. They've all done cereals. They've all been used by cereal commercials. But they decided they needed to create all their own characters, so they would own their own characters, and so that's what we did.
How fortunate that this company and the world you created also wanted to create their own characters.
Yeah, it was really fun creating a cereal company, and all these kind of corrupt executives, and how they talk about how much sugar there is, and there's actually a corrupt deal with the sugar company that is part of the storyline.
Oh, okay.
So they had to bring in a new CEO who was from a natural foods company. He's trying to. They think he'll like turn the company around, and he was at a company called Nature's Call,
Okay.
which was the name of his natural foods company.
So you'd mentioned about like your influences of like the cartoons and advertising and Mad Magazine, and I can see like the Mad like almost like aesthetic here. Was that like a conscious choice for where you were going?
Yeah. Well, I'm the writer, and my friend Rich Harrington, who's an artist, very influenced by Mad.
Okay, yeah.
And like the more Drucker kind of style. And so we grew up with Mad and Marvel and Bullwinkle and Rocky and all those kind of things, and it all went into it. But Mad for sure, it was a big influence, and there's all kinds of like side jokes in here that kind of are a little bit of like tribute to Mad.
That's awesome.
Now, is this your first time at the Small Press Expo?
This is our first time here. Yeah. We were at Baltimore last year. Comic-Con, it was a bit too big. It was too big and too different for us, and we need like a special kind of reader.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Sure.
This is more of like a reader-focused kind of group because it's pure comics here,
It is. It's more about story, and it's more about reading.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, not all venues are made for all material, and it could be that you're just not getting the people that want to interact with it the way you need them to.
Yeah. It's hard. In a way, we're creating a comic book for people who don't read comic books.
Yeah.
And so we're finding that audience. It's little by little, but it's been really fun to try to work on it.
So you're looking to do 6 issues according to the spine of the box here?
Yeah, there's a little checklist on the side.
So cool.
Yeah, so it's all written, and its first 2 are illustrated and published, and the 3rd is on the way soon. And I'm probably gonna beef up the ending since I still have time.
Sure.
Kind of just make it a little more exciting.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to discover as you go through the process.
The process has been great because I would write a script and then Rich would start drawing it and have ideas and say, oh, well, what should we put here? Or do you want to do it this way? And then I'm like, yeah, of course, should this character say this? Or there's room to write something on the wall in the background. What should that be? And then it's like I love that opportunity
For sure.
to write an extra joke.
And then also, like, so you have like his feedback, and you guys can go back and forth. And then, especially as you release over time, you can use like feedback from people that read it and give you ideas and what direction you want to take.
Yeah. Especially people who get into the story and wonder what's going to happen, and then guess what might happen, and like, hey, yeah, maybe we'll make that happen.
Right.
It
has to be really interesting to see how people, what they extract from it. Because it's not necessarily what you're saying, but it might be something else that they're hearing.
What they take, yeah.
I think all art does that, right? I'm not saying this is art, but when you're creative, you put it out there, and then people make of it whatever, however it intersects with their life.
Mm-hmm. Now, you said you've done some journalistic work.
Yeah.
Or you continue to do so. How would you say? How are the muscles different that you're flexing when you're? Because it's all words.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it feels very different.
It is different. As a journalist, and I write for newspapers and magazines, you learn to use the techniques of fiction to tell a good story, which means building up your characters and finding the best dialogue, right? Using great quotes, and the way people really talk to each other. So when I only recently started doing fiction, and I wrote a movie script, and then I wrote this. I kind of had a sense of how to do that, and how to tell a story with the extra freedom of like, this doesn't have to be true, and I can go in. I can
locked in on that.
Right.
You're not limited to what actually was said.
Right.
You can kind of sift through it and find out what maybe could have been said.
Right, which is dangerous because it's too much possibility.
Yes,
it's true.
And then you're like, wow, what if I've been making stuff up for the last 30 years? That would have been crazy.
I didn't want to say anything, but I suspected as much.
Yeah, but no, I don't mean in my journalism.
No, I know.
I mean in what if I had started doing fiction a long time ago? It would be what. I really love it. The other thing is, one of the things I was writing about as a journalist was movies and filmmakers and interviewing script writers and directors, and learning their techniques and how you make a scene, right? And how you write, how you have a story arc. So I kind of putting it all together and having some fun doing Serial.
It's interesting to pull from those different perspectives to do, from filmmakers and script writing for movies and script writing for comics, because it's the same base that you're building from. It's just presenting it in different ways, as panels as opposed to frames in a movie.
Yeah, it's interesting. I know you've been talking to comic creators for a long time. It's a really particular format, right? Because it's different. Even a movie script, if you want to throw in an extra line, you throw in an extra line, and it makes the movie 10 seconds longer. But in a comic book, it changes the whole layout, and you can't fit it on this page. So then you have to add 4 pages at a time in a comic book. So if you go over by a little bit, you
go over by a lot.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So it makes you write really tight. And it's good discipline.
Yeah, I would bet. And you'd think that journalistic writing, it does, but that still is a very strict sense of discipline, because you also have a limited space, and you have to hit certain notes in order to convey the basis, the facts of an event before you even get to whatever that particular story is. And in this case, you're right, because you can adjust anything, and yet you take something from the middle and make it a little bit bigger, everything gets shifted.
Yeah, sure. But when your earlier question, I think that besides fiction in informing the way I did journalism, it goes the other way too, because we're trying to make this realistic and feel like it's a real person and a real cereal company, and so I'm bringing in my ability to describe the truth a little bit and the way things really are, and give it that kind of verisimilitude. Is that a word?
Yeah. Like an authenticity to it. Yeah.
Yeah, authenticity. So I'm sending it to executives at cereal companies, hoping they'll read it.
That's nice. Yeah.
Hopefully so. Maybe they'll take something from it.
Yeah, maybe they'll get some ideas. Yeah, even though even though we kind of suggest that they're evil.
Just suggest.
They'll get over it with
Yeah,
their bags of money.
Yeah,
But-
they'll be okay.
But it's been fun. We've done a couple cereal podcasts and things like that. And,
That's cool.
That's nice.
You forget that there's like a whole subculture for that world.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everybody likes cereal. You know, not everybody, but every type of person loves cereal.
Yeah, for sure.
Older people, young people, every country, whatever. So there's a market there, and we're just trying to find that intersection between people who like cereal and people who like to read comic books.
Sure. Or like one of them enough to try the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, like Jerry Seinfeld is a huge cereal fan, and he did that movie that was about the Pop-Tarts.
Right, yeah.
Oh, yes.
And it was at Kellogg's. So we're in the same kind of territory.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, now, it's a very important question for you. Would you like to answer a mystery question?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, let's do it. Let's bring in the mystery machine of mystery questions. Watch out
Those
for
are
the-
all kind of mystery questions already.
That, you know what? That is true. Not sure why it's having trouble now.
There's the one right there. There we go.
Maybe the table's separated.
All right.
Come on, that's the second time, Rusty.
Almost done.
All right, let's bring in the little quarter truck before Rusty dies.
No, I'm still alive.
Please use
All right.
one of those quarters
Can
to
I do this?
unleash
Yeah,
your
so grab
Oh,
mystery
okay.
question.
Pop right here.
This is awesome.
It's like speaking of nostalgia.
Yeah, right. Whoa! It fell right in the
Right
truck.
in the truck. That was exciting.
That's pretty great.
Shot.
Nice.
Dom, what is your question?
My question is, which non-traditional pet animal do you wish you could have as a pet? Oh, panda?
Panda.
Like that.
Yeah.
All right, do you have a name for one already in your mind?
Pandemic.
Oh, that's
snap.
that's a haunting name.
Yeah.
Come on, Pandemic. Come on, Pandemic.
Like, he's sweet. Don't worry. He's just a panda bear. It's
Eat
fine.
your bamboo, Pandemic.
Pet panda's
Yeah.
solid, though.
Yeah, because they seem kind of gentle.
Yeah.
And they're adorable.
And they're not really bears, are they? Or are they? No.
Are they? Well, I think they are, aren't they?
I think
Are they
they're
marsupials? Or
I think they're
something?
koalas.
Oh, what? We're
So you
breaking
may
news
just
here.
want a koala.
I got to look that
Just
up.
painted, black
I
and
would
white.
recommend it before you commit
I
to
got
having
to
a
ask
panda.
ChatGPT about that.
Yeah.
ChatGPT, what's going on with these pandas?
What's up with pandas? Are they
All
koalas?
right, now, one last thing before we leave. We're going to
Yes.
bring you into the world of something new we've added for interviews here in 2024, and that, my friend, is the prize gallery.
Okay.
There is a gallery of prizes sitting right behind you,
Oh,
and
wow.
you can have any one you want.
Oh,
You can
wow.
have the deck of playing cards, the set of 4 coasters, the pot holder, the puzzle, the placemat, the tea towel, the blanket that's just far too large to unfurl on camera. We have a keepsake box in which you can keep your sakes. That's right. We have a ceramic mug, a shopping bag, and a pillow.
Oh, wow.
Would you like any of these prizes?
Okay. The pillow?
The pillow!
Yes.
All right, this is an
Fantastic.
SPX pillow that also happens to be adorned with our
With our
wonderful and large
Wow.
heads.
Beautiful faces. And a
So-
nice memento for your first SPX.
And if you're
Really?
tired
That's
later,
so nice. I will sleep soundly tonight.
Fantastic.
thank you so much for sitting with us. Oh, before we let you go,
Oh, yeah.
I need to know, where can people find out more about your comic online?
Our company is called Boink Comics, boinkcomics.com.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thank you
Very-
again for sitting with us, and have a great rest of the show.
Yes.
Thank you guys. Thanks, Joe and Rusty.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Don.
All right.